Hey, what's happening, guys? Happy Tuesday night. It's just past 9:30, and you're hanging out with Johnny Gaz. Welcome to Johnny Gaz Live. I appreciate you guys. Man, what a good Tuesday. We have so much to talk about. We have so much Lions news to talk about. We're going to get into it, guys. I promise we're going to hit on all the free agencies, day one, day two, all the action for the Detroit Lions, all the big moves they made, all the little moves they made, all the re-signings. We have so many good topics to hit on when it comes to Lions football. But before we get into all that, guys, I want to quickly get into let's go around the D. Let's go around the D real quick because we got some Detroit Red Wings action. We got Detroit Pistons action going on. Right now, the Detroit Pistons are taking on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, coming off of one of their worst losses of the season. They're on a 4-game losing streak, but right now the Pistons are dominating the Brooklyn Nets, 102-65, a few minutes to go left in the third quarter. Now, they did just lose to the same Brooklyn team with a 23-point lead in the third quarter 5 days ago, give or take. So we're not going to just give this one up, but Pistons off to a roaring start in Brooklyn right now. Jalen Duren leading the way with 25 points. Cade Cunningham, 15 assists. Isaiah Stewart with 7 rebounds. Defense really getting back at it today. They're shooting the ball much better today. Brooklyn cold from the three-point line. They were 0 for, I think, 19 to start the game from the three-point line. So getting a little help from Brooklyn today as well. Again, Pistons up big, 102-65 in Brooklyn, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Also want to check in on our Red Wings. Right now, they are tied with the Florida Panthers, 3-3. We're getting towards the end of regulation. Florida had just tied it up late in the third period. Goals by Patrick Kane, Justin Falk, and Marco Kasper today. But again, it is 3-3. Looks like they're heading into overtime. So again, we will also keep our eyes on that one as well. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the chat, guys. Mile Marker, appreciate you, buddy. He says, looking forward to hearing a summary of list of free agent moves made so far, buddy. We're going to do it. We're going to get into it. I appreciate you, bud. How you doing? Trim, what up, Doe? Appreciate you. Marcus Newsom, how you doing, buddy? Don't know Grits in the house. Appreciate all you guys. Bruce Armstrong, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Lightning, Millicent's in the house. You know what Millicent gets when she's here. And Millicent, we missed you the last couple times. I'm going to hit you with a gong. Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you guys getting in early and often. It's going to be a good day. Unfortunately, unbelievable. The Wings gave up 2 goals late in the third period. It is now 4-3 Panthers. Carter Verhaeghe scores with 18:30 and 19:45 into the third period, and the Florida Panthers storm back. Wings were up 3-2 with about halfway to go in the third period, and it looks like they're going to blow this one. That is really unfortunate. So that's a tough way to start the evening. Looks like the Red Wings are going to drop this one to the Panthers. I was going to start off with Justin Falk really making a difference. Obviously, they get the victory with him in the lineup 2 days ago, and things were looking very strong with him in the lineup again today. He has a goal and an assist, but unfortunately, the Wings blew it for us, Mile Marker. I can't believe it. I'm sitting here right before I go live thinking that it's going to be awesome because we've got the Pistons dominating and we got the Wings about to win a hockey game. It's going to be a great way to kick off our live, but unfortunately the Wings just blew this one and have lost it 4-3. So I'm sorry, guys. I guess I jinxed it by going live for the Red Wings. That's unfortunate. Let's hope the Pistons can hang in there. Red Wings lose 4-3 to Florida. That's a tough one. That's one you kind of want to have. We'll talk about maybe how that hurts them moving forward. That's a tough loss for the Wings, to be honest with you. Justin Falk, on the other hand, playing pretty well. In his first game for the Wings, had 4 blocks, 4 hits. Got involved early and often, was helpful in the defensive pairing. So I thought things started to shape up well. Again, they looked pretty good in this game up until late in the third period. And unfortunately, the Wings dropped this one 4-3. So we'll move on from that one. Pistons up big right now, 103-67 in Brooklyn, getting towards the end of the third quarter. Holy smokes. What up, Moonscar Blade? How you doing? I appreciate Jason Malloy. How you doing, buddy? John Herman, good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Lupe, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate all you guys getting in the chat. We got a lot to talk about today, don't we? We got a lot of good free agent news to get into. But that's our quick just going around the D, because we have live action for all our Detroit sports pretty much right now. Detroit Pistons in action in Brooklyn, 103-68. Appreciate you guys. Man, big time chat. Chimmy, how we doing? No, I don't think we're going after Max. No, I think that's out the window. That's out the window. So yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on the Pistons here. Again, 103-68, getting to the end of the third quarter. Pistons rolling here today in Brooklyn, but let's keep our eyes on it. Again, they had a huge lead against Brooklyn the other day at home and ended up blowing that one. Now, that was without Cade Cunningham in the lineup. And today, again, they're out without Asir Thompson. They're without Karis LeVert. The Nets are also without a few players. Zaire Williams not in the lineup. Day'Ron Sharpe wasn't in the lineup. So, again, a little shorthanded on that side as well. So, we got to take that into consideration. But the Pistons needed a win. So, hopefully, they can keep this thing rolling in Brooklyn. This one, again, just at the end of the third quarter. I have it at 103-71 at the moment. But yeah, breaking news. I gotta get in on this before we start our Lions topic. Breaking news from ESPN. Sources say that Ravens have nixed a trade for Crosby due to medical concerns. So this coming from ESPN's Ryan McFadden. The Las Vegas Raiders announced Tuesday the Ravens have backed out of a trade agreement that would have sent All-Pro defensive end Maxx Crosby to Baltimore in exchange for 2 first-round picks. No further details were provided in the Raiders announcement, but league sources told ESPN the Ravens backed out because of medical concerns that arose during a physical. These trades are contingent on players passing the physical and aren't official until the start of the new league year, which is tomorrow, Wednesday, at 4 p.m. Ravens officials did not immediately respond to a request for comment. That is incredible news breaking here this evening. And I think is a great segue to bring on our special guest of the day. Obviously, we have a ton of Detroit Lions news to hit on, but now with this Maxx Crosby news, I think we should jump right into it. So why don't we get into our main topic of the day? It's been a little while. Bring them back on. You know them. You love them. From the 313 Villain Squad, my man, Russell. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Say hello to my little friend.
Heck yeah, buddy. Good to have you back. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I heard that news too, man. I was just I posted it up on to my page, and I almost didn't believe that it was real. I put some text out there like you know, there's so many trolls and bad stuff that's out there that I was like, this can't be real. Like, this doesn't happen, but I guess it's true.
That's wild. I can't wait to hear what, and tell me if I just haven't seen it yet, but I'm very curious of what happened with this guy's physical to the point where they would back out. I mean, this has to be something looking long-term. Do you have any idea or any ideas what it could be?
Well, it sounded like a medical thing. I mean, I know that he had knee issues, and I mean, I don't know to the depths of anything of it, but you know, he has to go to Baltimore. He's got to pass a physical, and they backed out of the trade, so that he must not be all the way there, which should make him right on Brad Holmes' radar right there. We might trade 2 first-round picks. He's injured, guys. He might be a Lion.
He goes, wait a minute, broken leg. Hold on a second.
Ooh, we got to get him in here.
That's a good point. I mean, and just let's put this. I guess I want to put it to bed, and I don't want to speak for you, but this doesn't open up anything for the Lions, right? There's no way, based on their financial situation where they're at, that this then really puts them in any sort of Maxx Crosby sweepstakes, right?
I mean, I have no idea. You know, I mean, I know that you want to ignite the fan base. I mean, I know that, you know, the majority of the people, from what I can see through all the comments of the posts that I've put up over the signings and everything, that, you know, I think we need something to ignite the fan base. And the thing is you can make anything work underneath of the salary cap. I mean, if you're worried about salary cap, or you're worried about, I mean, if you had to trade 2 first-round picks, You bring in Maxx Crosby, you redo the deal. You could lower his cap number to, $10 million or whatever this year. And, if you had Maxx Crosby and Aiden Hutchinson for the next 3 years, I mean, I don't think you'd get any complaints out of anybody. They can definitely make it work because we have really over $100 million worth of possible restructures that's out there. So money's not really the issue when it comes with this. It just kind of scares me now knowing that he didn't pass the physical. I don't know. That would scare me to spend that kind of capital and to have a guy that you're not 100% on coming in right away. But I love the idea. I really do.
Well, that brings up a really good point because we're going to get into all the news for the Lions today and all the players and re-signs and sign it, all that stuff. But the one thing we haven't really heard about yet is that exact thing, is the financial piece. Now, I expect that we're going to hear something, but there's been nothing as of yet as far as their Goff restructure, a Penei Sewell restructure, Amon-Ra, all the players that they could make something happen with. We really haven't heard that yet. Now, a lot of this, I think, is because of the whole new league year reset on Wednesday, and a lot of it maybe won't be announced there. But when that does happen, Villain, do you expect to hear about a certain player and their contract, or do you think all these guys get restructured?
I think it's going to be a as needed type of thing because I don't think that you really wanted to restructure anybody if you don't have to, because really you're taking that money and you're putting dead money into future years, and you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So I think the real question is going to be, is it going to be Jared Goff? Because if they don't restructure Jared Goff, does that spell out the possible ending of our relationship with Jared Goff, because he's really only guaranteed money through 2027. So that's what I'm really looking for. There's 4 guys, between Aleem, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and Jared Goff. Those are the guys that you can really squeeze some money, and kick that can down the road. And I'd rather see it with Amon-Ra and Sewell first, to get that money first, to get what they need to get out of those guys. And if they needed something else, then see what you could get out of the other one. Because I know Sewell and Amon-Ra.
Oh, I still got you, buddy?
Yeah, you got me.
Okay, all right. My bad.
I was just done with my point. I don't know if you want to keep going.
You're good. No, it's funny. I don't know if I hit the button. I just heard it's like everything shrunk on me. Like, oh, geez. No, we're good. So I'm with you. And I think maybe going at it as needed might be the way to go. Because you're right. You don't want to upset anybody or the apple cart if you don't have to, or have to restructure. But I think then that leads us to what actually did happen with the Lions here today. So let's kind of talk about what happened in order as things kind of progressed over the last couple days. We've both covered it separately on our channels, the trade of David Montgomery and Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker. So we won't start there. But what I will start with was the big news yesterday after a long day of NFL free agency. And we didn't really hear much from the Lions. And then all of a sudden, we do hear that the Lions obtained center Cade Mays from the Panthers on a 3-year deal, $25 million. 14 of that is guaranteed. A guy that is praised for his pass blocking and the things he's been able to do the past 2 years as a spot starter, and then kind of took over at center, had some injury concerns last year. Again, is good in pass pro, has some issues in run blocking, but at the bigger picture is much younger than what we had in Graham Glasgow. I think he's going to be 27 years old entering this 2026 season. So tell me, Villain, from your perspective, give me a grade on this signing for the Lions and Cade Mays. Does it fill their need at center? Is this the guy? And what does this set them up for the offensive line here for 2026?
So personally, I'm going to grade it an A-. I liked it. And honestly, I know that the PFF scores showed a certain thing on his run blocking, but I'm sitting here watching a tape on this guy, and I'm just watching him road grade people out of the way and pave the way for big runs. This guy's like a cinder block. Now, his the downgrades might be him moving from side to side, trying to get him to pull and do some of the stuff that Ragnow did. But if you just want this guy to run north and south, I saw a beast. I love the signing coming from a $8 million a year standpoint. Right there, you got a young type of dude, and he is better than Glasgow, much better at pass blocking, which was detrimental to Jared Goff playing awful because he does not handle pressure well right up the middle. So that's where it helps out immensely, and we'll see the biggest impact in the pass game. And then when you look at what the other guys got, John, like you're talking $27 million a year for Leonard. We were never going to pay that. That's crazy. That's almost as much as Amon-Ra St. Brown is making.
Too much. I agree.
And that's $9 million higher than the even second highest paid center. So the Raiders did an overpay on that. McGovern was already gone, so Cade Mays was the guy. I've heard other channels talking about him being a target, and you satisfied a need that we absolutely needed help right there in the center. I want to see two veterans put onto the offensive line before it's all said and done. And I'm not talking like the other one that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but I'm talking starter quality guys. I would like to see another one, but this is a great start. I want to see two veterans in there, and there we go. We got 1 out of 2.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I agree 100%. They weren't in the Linderbaum sweepstakes, and that was proven by what the Raiders paid for him. And Biotish was off the market. McGovern had been already re-signed by the Bills, so the dream scenario guys were just not a reality to the Lions. And I think they did a good job in getting the next best thing. I love his age. I love that you can grow with him. He's going to grow within Hank Fraley's system. He's going to be surrounded by Penei Sewell, whether it be on his right side, left side. So I think by association, hopefully that run blocking, if you're relying on the PFF number, will increase just by everybody else's effectiveness across the offensive unit. So I'm with you, and I was positive. But I guess what I would ask you before we get away from him, do you think this is the long-term answer, or is it still a stopgap for a drafted interior lineman long-term?
It could be. I think that they set themselves up. I think a 3-year deal is perfect for that. He's 26 years old, and what do you consider long-term? I think that he could set himself up to get another short contract, and I think it's in Brad Holmes' kind of MO to where these guys get 29, 30 years old, then we're looking for the exit strategy anyway. So we got him till his 29-year-old year, and I think he's going to do just fine. I think that he fits us with what we do. Big, like I say, he looks like a cinder block. He's just a big, wide dude. You're just not going to get around him. And I think that the run blocking, I think that we're going to be pleasantly surprised here. Hank Fraley will do a good job with that, and we're not going to try to get him pulling. And a lot of his bad run blocking probably had to do with the fact that there was revolving doors to the right and the left of him there over in Carolina. So I wouldn't look too much into that low run blocking grade right there unless you're just trolling like some people on every single signing that we've had. There's just like, oh, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's like, what do you want from us here?
Yeah, it's total speculation season, because everybody's excited, and you got one side or the other, and I'm with you. It's like you got some guys singing the praises like Cade Mays is Linderbaum, and then other people saying, well, no, he was he's not that much better than what you had there in Glasgow. I think we're kind of somewhere in the middle. We talked about it, but I think the other addition that they made also that same day helps the offensive line, maybe not in the same way, but they also obtain tackle Larry Borum. I hope I'm saying that last name right, but he is a local kid from Detroit, played in Miami, played some time in Chicago, has started in the league, but certainly I don't think coming to the Lions as any sort of starter projection. I think this is more of a depth piece. But what do you think about the Borum addition? The fact that they're adding additional pieces across the offensive line.
Borum is a little bit of a boring signing to me. I mean, I'm not going to get too high on this one. This one's I'm not going to get real excited about. Is he the answer at right tackle if you move Panay to left? I don't think so. I think he is a stopgap. So if you're doing yourself a favor out there, everybody, I would say that there you go, right there. Don't know grit right there. Borum is Skip. He's Skipper. You know, he's the guy that's going to come in. He can play both of the tackle positions in a pinch. You want him to go out there and be quality depth for whoever else you're going to get. I think we're going to draft the guy that is going to be the right tackle. I think they're going to move Penei Sewell over to left tackle, his natural left tackle position, where he was drafted. And that's where he's going to be for the rest of Jared Goff's career here in Detroit. And I think it's a smart play. You want your best offensive lineman on the left side, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, I think these guys are backup. They're depth pieces. It's good to have. You want guys with starting experience that you can turn to in worst case scenarios. So I'm totally comfortable with that. But I agree with you. This isn't a blow up type of pick, not a splash. Kind of the same thing with what the Juice Scruggs throw in was with the David Montgomery trade. The one thing that we didn't mention here, and we all kind of alluded to it, but what I love the most about the fact that they went out and added a center, added additional depth pieces, is it keeps Tate Ratledge in his natural position. I just didn't love at all the idea of going back to auditioning him as your center next year, or having that be in flux. So to know that Mays is your center, Tate is on the right side, Penei could be right or left tackle, and then we draft the tackle of the future. I like that plan. So to me, that was the greatest benefit of this Mays addition.
Yeah, you got what, 4 out of 5 of the offense, because you're going to have that 3-way competition at left guard between Frazier, Mahogany, and Juice, or however you're going to run that out. And yeah, I like the idea of having Tate be in the spot where he was, because, you know, as good as, I mean, he might be a really, really great lineman. And I think that was a good pick by the Lions, but anytime you switch positions, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough, no matter who you are. So, yeah, you're right. You strengthened 2 positions by bringing him in.
Now let's move over to day 2 of free agency. And this is where things kind of got interesting for me. I thought a very, I want to think of the right word for this. I don't want to say interesting because I think it fits the bill. But Isaiah Pacheco, again, they go out and they sign a running back. Pacheco, we know, spent his first 4 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's won 2 Super Bowls, so the experience speaks for itself. Detroit gets him on a 1-year deal, so it's not like this is a long-term thing, kind of a prove it coming off of his down year in 2025. He had a great season in 2023, and then things sort of faded off after the broken leg in 24. And now I have people either saying this is a bad signing because of his down year, or this is a great signing because this is as comparable as you're going to get to David Montgomery. I don't know that I see that, but Villain, I'd love to get your opinion. What's your thought on the Lions signing Isaiah Pacheco as your backup running back?
And first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Trim Reaper. It's great to be back on here. In case you want to know out there, I've been in Facebook jail. I haven't went live because of that reason. I've been battling with them. I had to get on here and get live somehow because of this. I didn't expect it to take that long, but I should be back up and running by March 26th. But thank you for asking about that, Trim. It's great to see you on here too. But Isaiah Pacheco, to me, am I the only person that really, really liked this signing? Because I looked on there and I got excited about it, and then I saw all the comments, and I'm like, what is wrong with Isaiah Pacheco? He's not David Montgomery, guys. I know that, and he came off of an injury, and he didn't play as much last year. And they had Kareem Hunt there too, who was handling a lot of the passing down, so his usage went way down. But I mean, this guy runs hard. If you've ever put on the tape, just watch this guy run. He puts his shoulder down, and he's I would dare say he's even more physical runner than David Montgomery. Now, I don't think he has the elusiveness of a David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery is a much better pass catcher out of the backfield. but Pacheco can block out of the back. You can count on him in pass protection. And if you need a yard, this guy can get you a yard. And if you got Jahmyr Gibbs and you got Sonic and you want to give him more touches and you just want another guy that can get you hard yards and that can take, 10 carries a game, I think this was a perfect signing. I mean, honestly, you're not going to use him. He's not expecting to get used like David Montgomery, so you're not going to have to go through that. And what did you need? You need a bruiser runner that can take a little bit of the load off of Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it was a perfect signing. I think this is an A+ signing for what we needed, and I couldn't ask for anything more out of it.
Love it. It looks like you got a lot of love here in chat. People agree with you 100%. A couple things I 100% love about Pacheco is his ability to pass block. So I think he's going to step in and be a better pass pro than any of your other running backs have given you. He's quicker than David Montgomery, so I like that in a sense. And although, like you said, they would take him out of the goal line for Kareem Hunt in a lot of cases, I like that you don't have to use Jahmyr Gibbs in those pound the rock situations. So you can turn and then give it to Isaiah Pacheco. Let's hope he can stay healthy. And that's the biggest thing. But again, it's a 1-year deal. So, you didn't sign the farm away. And if he does well, then maybe he has a longer future here behind Jahmyr Gibbs, your premier back. So I was good with it as well. I thought it was an interesting signing. I didn't expect it. I think that's where I was coming from with this.
Here's another thing that I want to add to that too, which is you have Sione Vaki too. So there is something there that I want to see. I don't want to just see this 1-2 back thing like they did last year, because you had Sonic and Knuckles. You didn't even get to see this guy. I think with Pacheco, you can even spell Pacheco to a little bit and get Sione Vaki some carries this year. Not anything crazy, but if you get him, 4 or 5 carries in a game, just as a change of pace, a guy that kind of is a different type of back. Really, you got 3 very different type of backs now, which I think is going to be it's going to be a good thing for Petsing to have access to those 3, just depending on what the game script is going to show.
So another interesting re-sign as well. Late in the day today, also, we find out that the Lions are going to re-sign or bring back Teddy Bridgewater, who played last year in Tampa Bay.
Teddy Two Gloves.
That's right, Teddy Two Gloves. He's got the huge history with the Lions. We sung his praises multiple off seasons ago because he was on the roster, and we felt really good about it. So are you happy that they bring back at least – we know that Teddy's not – he hasn't really seen the field in a few years, honestly, but he's bringing that veteran leadership, familiarity with the system. Do you like that he's coming back as a backup?
Absolutely. I mean, what do you want out of a backup? I think so many people just want another starter, or I don't know what you would want, but you have a guy that doesn't get shaken. The guy's thrown a touchdown pass in one of your playoff games. Yeah. You got a guy that can mentor, that's actually went down in an off season and coached youth football, that knows a lot about football, that can be a guy that's over to the side with whatever quarterback that we bring in as the practice squad quarterback. He's going to be so valuable during practice and bringing people up to speed, especially for wide receivers too. He was very, very big in the progression of Jameson Williams. He doesn't get enough credit for that because he worked out with Jameson Williams all that offseason right before, not this year, but the 2 years ago, and spent a lot of time down in Florida with him. And yeah, Teddy Two Gloves. I mean, he's a guy that Dan Campbell has known since back in the New Orleans days. So familiarity, man. Familiarity. This is a home run. I know that didn't spend anything on us either. So price point and having a backup quarterback is better than Kyle Allen. Yeah. And Kyle Allen got a bigger deal than he did, because to me, if they don't announce how much it was, it's probably towards a league minimum type of signing. Yeah. So yeah, for no money, you couldn't ask for a better backup.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it too. Yeah, Kyle Allen was a 2-year deal, $4.1 million, basically to go be his buddy's backup, right? Because I know those two have a relationship, so I think he was happy to. In 2-year deal, why would he take that? So it worked out for all parties.
Yeah, and that's good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good for Kyle Allen, because that's a very similar situation to here. I think Teddy's a better fit for us, and Kyle Allen's a better fit for them. So, yeah, good job by both of them.
Yeah. And a couple guys tough to see leave in the last couple days. So let's talk about that. Some of the recent departures. We just hit on Kyle Allen. Maybe the biggest surprise for me, let's hit on this first, was the defensive tackle, Roy Lopez, who takes a contract with the Cardinals, a 2-year deal, $10.5 million. So not huge money. And maybe that's just what it is. But tell me, Villain, why do you think he decided to go there rather than re-sign with the Lions?
Well, I think it comes down to that he spent time there, and and he came here and played well, and he got himself got himself paid back at his old spot. He probably knows a lot of people that are out there. That's a familiar place out there. I don't think that there was any bad blood or anything here, and I would have loved to see the Lions pay that. I mean, that is a little bit disappointing. I'm not going to lie. Really, I would have loved to see them sign Roy Lopez here for that deal that they got here, because he was probably our best defensive lineman last year, and even better than Aleem McNeil at that point. Now, I do believe that Aleem McNeil is going to be much better this year, just because a year removed. I mean, there's just something about ACLs that mess people up, and that type of leg injury the first year. So you're really going to see him be what he was coming back this year. But no, Roy Lopez, that was a tough one to lose, man. I'm not going to lie, but there are other replacements that are out there. We can do other things. We can go back into the draft. I mean, it's not, oh my God, the sky is falling now because we lost Roy Lopez, but I wish that we would have re-signed him.
Yeah, I that was one of the guys I had earmarked that was a necessary re-sign. I just thought based on where they were on the defensive line, and I agree with you. I thought he was their best defensive interior lineman last year, but I also 1,000% agree with your assessment in that Aleem McNeil probably comes back with a vengeance this year because of the injury. So maybe that's what makes Roy Lopez expendable, and maybe they had a dollar amount that they just weren't willing to give, or maybe they're just not willing to give these return guys multi-year deals. I mean, that's kind of the other thing. Because they re-signed cornerback Rock Ya-Sin on a 1-year deal worth $4 million, which I do love this move. I think Rock was our best depth cornerback all year long, and we had to rely on him because of the injury situation. So how do you feel about bringing Rock back for another year?
That's another one they knocked out of the park right there. It's like these are the ones that Brad doesn't get enough credit for. Now Brad hasn't been great on the big free agency signings. For some reason, when he signed like Sutton and DJ Reed wasn't good last year, and it's like some of these big ones not so good, but he's pretty good at finding these diamonds in the rough that just need another shot. And yeah, awesome. That's an awesome pickup. And you don't want him to be your starter, but that if a guy goes down, you're going to have Rock there, and he can play. And he can play multiple positions. If you need him to, he could even start at the safety in a pinch. He can play slot corner. He can play outside corner. So to get him for $4 million, that's a knock it out of the park, Brad.
What a great, so I love to reference this. Don't Know Grit says Rock played 186 snaps and we paid him $4 million. Lopez played 72 snaps and is getting $5 million a year. So that just shows you that points to what you just said. There's some credit to Brad Holmes and getting the right guys at the right price sometimes. So yeah, we got to give him credit for that. Let's go back to some of the departures, because another surprise for me today was wide receiver Khalif Raymond, who gets, and not only surprising that he left, but then where he ended up going is the Chicago Bears on a 1-year deal, $3.5 million. You don't think the Lions could have paid Khalif 1 year, $3.5 million to keep him?
Bye.
Wow.
Bye. I'm not broken up about this at all.
Okay.
You spent 2 third-round picks to move up to select Isaac Tesla last year, and you don't need to be bringing another wide receiver in to compete with that. You need to go all in on what your move was.
Okay.
And if you went all in and tried to get Isaac Tesla, I mean, Raymond's a 5'10" wide receiver. You know, we need an X wide receiver to be out there, and now he's going to have a whole off season. So now you can work with Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Isaac Tesla. You got playmakers. This is what the future of the Lions looks like, and you're looking at it like that. And punt returners. Now remember that you did draft a Dominic Lovett in the 7th round last year. These are the guys that you want to be your punt returners. Those are, I mean, you're not going to pay $3 million for a punt returner only. I mean, I guess you could have did that, but it was time to move on. They had him on a 2-year deal. He restructured his 2-year deal into a 1-year deal. The writing was on the wall last year when he signed his contract and restructured that last year.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset at that at all. Bye, Khalif, and damn you for going to the Chicago Bears. You could have went anywhere. But you're going to go to Benedict Arnold. You want to play us twice a year? Let's go. It's
gonna be one of those situations. I think Raymond gets a nice good boo when he comes back now. You know, what could have been a fan favorite, you know, turned himself into a boo man. I hate to say that, but you go over to the Bears, and that's enemy territory now.
See what you did?
That's it.
You could have had the food and beverage job.
They could have given him a mop. He can mop something up in the back. He could carry Tesla's bags. Come on.
Oh no, come on.
No, I'm just kidding. I see. I didn't think that I liked Leaf, and I think the thing about that one is because he's the Iron Man. He was a locker room guy. I thought he was a Dan Campbell guy. Like, I just thought they'd want to keep some of those guys around, but it's a business, and sometimes it's dollars and cents. And Dominic Lovett is still in the system. So, I mean, you got guys that I think could do the punt returner role. And if that was the only thing he was going to give you, then I think the value's not really there anymore.
You got Kennedy, baby. Tom Kennedy. He'll never die.
You cannot unalive Tom Kennedy, right?
That's right.
So a couple guys that I wasn't so surprised to hear about, but I want to mention Alex Anzalone is going to the Buccaneers, 2 years, $17 million, and Amik Robertson going to the Commanders, 2 years, $16 million. Are you tore up by either one of those two departures?
Good for them. You know, one of the things I love about the way the Lions are set up now is you can come here, we can train you up, and you can go get a raise. And it might not be here, but you can go somewhere else and you can go get your money and you'll get paid. And we weren't going to pay that. We're not going to pay. We just paid Derek Barnes last year. We're getting the Brinks truck ready to pay Jack Campbell. Like, we're just not going to pay a third linebacker when it comes down to the big dollars. So you served your purpose here. You're 31-year-old and you can still play, but we're going to take guys, draft, develop, and we're going to pay these guys and pay for their primes. That's how you're going to get a big contract. We want your prime. We'll sign you to a 3-year deal when you're 26, Cade Mays, and we're going to take your prime years, whatever those are. But once you get up in there and you want to get that big money from us, you know, hey, love you, Alex. You were here right at the beginning. Hey, I love you, Amik. I love the way that he talks like the Louisiana, like the Cajun guy. I mean, I loved listening to Amik interviews and everything. And he was a very good corner for how short he was.
Yeah.
You can't ask for anything more, but, you know, it's time. Rock Ya-Sin was the correct one to bring back at the price point. And now you can go, you know, you're hoping that Ennis Rakestraw can give you some valuable snaps this year, and you're hoping that Terrion doesn't go to jail.
Quit sending your buddies out to do your bidding, my dude.
But no, I'm not. I mean, it sucks to see good players go, but those guys are role players, and Brad Holmes is a master at finding role players for cheap, and that's what we need. We need other role players.
So speaking of role players, they did re-sign one more here today. Linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez was a re-sign. Again, a one-year contract for him. I don't have the terms on it, but we talk about losing Alex Anzalone and still needing to have some sort of depth. He's also a great special teams player for the team as well. Are you good with bringing Rodriguez back?
100%. Actually, that feeds right off of what you just said. So if you look at PFF, last year I wouldn't really, because he was coming back from the horrific injury that he had. He really only played in like one full game last year. But if you look at the previous year on PFF, he had an over 85 rating. I mean, the kid's a stud. Whenever he would go out there and play, he's played valuable snaps just in reserve. Whenever he's needed to go out there, he plays special team, he plays fullback. So I love the Rodriguez signing, and it may signal the bat signal for opportunity, because there is no Alex Anzalone. Maybe he can win this third linebacker job right there with Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes, because he does bring a different type of skill set. And he does play pretty well against the pass because he was a former safety when he was at Oklahoma State. So I think that's a good one-year signing. You don't know where he's at with the injury, so it's a low-risk, high-reward type of signing. And let's see what you can do. Come on, Rodrigo. I posted that that thing with Kelvin Shepard in his first year. He's a rookie. I can't believe you're going to let me play a rookie.
Oh, that was good. That Hard Knocks season was great.
Awesome.
It's great.
Awesome. I love that signing.
So moving forward now, obviously there's still some big names out there, but we know the Lions are very limited in the true money that they have to spend or are willing to spend. So do you think they're players at all for any additional free agents before we really start to gear up for the NFL draft? And even past that, do you have a position or a couple positions that you think the Lions should key in on for the draft to round this thing out?
Well, it's been kind of like a trend of Brad Holmes to where we're going to go into the draft without needs. And then when we get to the draft, they're just picking best player available. I think that's always going to be the what's the word I'm looking for? That's always going to be what they want to do going into the draft. So I do think that they'll go and get a pass rusher. Maybe not the pass rusher that you want, but a guy that can start, that has starting experience. Maybe that would be cool if they got somebody like a Bosa or Epineza from the Buffalo Bills. I would love to see them get another offensive lineman that has a starting experience to bring in. I would love to see them have another linebacker and a safety. Get a true safety to bring in, because you're not going to have Brian Branch at the beginning of the season for sure, and you have no idea what's going on with Kirby Joseph. So I would love to see them pick up 4 or 5 more of these Brad specials going into the draft. And then that way there's not such a, oh my God, we have to take a offensive lineman or a tackle in the first round. No, you can or you can't, whatever. But whatever falls to them, or whatever the best player available is the one they're going to pick. Because we always get disappointed in the draft because they never take the guy. It seems like they don't ever take the guy that we want at that time, even though we like Talik Williams. I think that he's going to be a good player. Last year, everybody was going, oh, we needed to take, so-and-so. I forget who they wanted, some edge from last year, that they wanted us to take, and we didn't. We took the defensive tackle. So who knows what they're going to do once they get to the draft.
Yeah, I really need them to make an additional move on their defensive side of the ball. Now that with the exit of Roy Lopez, to me, I love Lee McNeil returning. I think he'll do big things. And do they re-sign Al-Qadim Muhammad, and if they don't, because I think his number might be a little much for them, I really think they need to add something. And if Joey Bosa's the guy, I'd be totally fine with that. I would be really shocked if they don't add another player in the secondary. I think you hit on both of those things. I think not having a safety in the mix right now hurts you, and the current depth pieces they have there just aren't going to be enough. So I really want to see some veterans across the defense on the line and in the secondary. And I'm with you. I don't mind the best man approach, but I think the offensive line needs still are too much, so that if they don't get another veteran, it almost does create the need for me to take a tackle in the first round if somebody that you like is available. So that's where I'm at with it. But I think right now they've set themselves up to where they have a lot of options, and I like the moves that they've made so far. Why don't you do this for me, Villain? I know it's only been 2 days of free agency, but overall, these first 2 days, do you want to put a grade on it, or just tell me, are you happy with what you've seen, considering where we were at when we ended the season now to where we are currently?
I mean, I think I can stick with my A- grade. I mean, I'm not going to give him an A+ because there's obviously, I mean, you want him to swing. I mean, everybody wants him to swing. And I don't think that Joey Bosa feels like another Davenport to me. I mean, Joey Bosa played quite a few snaps. Did he play? I mean, he might have played. Was he injured at all last year?
I have to look that up. I'm not sure.
I think that they got pretty good value out of Joey Bosa last year. But you're right. You know, I mean, a lot of these guys, they don't get to free agency without injury problems. Half of these guys. Right. That's why they got the free agency in the first place. True. And as far as that Jalen Carter thing, I mean, you know, that's about as probable as the Maxx Crosby thing. You know, I mean, sure, let's do it. Like, whatever, that would be cool. But that would be 2 defensive linemen at, you know, over $25 million a year. Yeah. I don't think that that's in the cards. That would be crazy. Get both of those guys there. Didn't Jalen Carter run like a 4.5 40 at 350 pounds or something like that?
He's a
crazy
athletic freak. I mean, shoot, put him next to Hutchinson, and then we really got something cooking. I mean, give me that, but I just don't. You're right. That's not a reality. Hey guys, make sure to slap that like button if you haven't already. It's the best free way to help out the channel. We've had a great discussion here with the Villain. We got a lot of eyeballs on the live as we speak. If you haven't already, just hit that like button for us. It's the best way to help us out today. And Villain, I appreciate you joining the show. It's been too long. It's good to have you back. Why don't you tell all the fine folks what you're working on? I know you've been busy with your band, so tell them where they can come and see you if they're local in your area. Give us some good news.
Well, I'm in a Tool tribute band called Toolology, and we did a sold-out show here in Flint, Michigan, and it got my juices flowing a little bit. So I've been working hard trying to get the group outside of my hometown here. Got a couple gigs down in the Detroit, Michigan area. Going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. We're trying to get into Toledo right now and Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we're trying to expand there a little bit. And as far as the page goes, I'm going to keep the page going. I put up 15 posts a day just off of, you know, graphics design. I'll put some of those up. Some of them I just steal from other places that put out good content with that. And then as far as the lives go, I'm gonna try to at least do 1 live a week, especially during this off season time. I know you're doing a good job at covering the Pistons and the Red Wings, and I might touch into that a little bit too, because I'm really digging on these Pistons too. But you can find me at 313 Villain Squad. That's my Facebook handle. That's the YouTube handle. And YouTube is where you're going to find me right now until they let me out of Facebook jail on March 26th. So yeah, I do appreciate you letting me come on here, and I look forward to doing it again.
I appreciate you. We'll definitely get together real soon. In the top corner, of course, guys, if you haven't checked out Villain on YouTube, that link will get you right there, the QR code, top right corner. So definitely go and check them out. And buddy, I really appreciate you allowing me to use the platform and going live with me on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll definitely have you back. We got a lot of good Lions stuff coming up as we get closer to the draft. So we'll pick your brain and get back into it here very soon.
Thanks a lot, man.
Take it easy, brother. Villain, I appreciate you, man. Always good to get together and talk some Lions. And seriously, huge news today, guys. Huge news. I want to kind of recap everything that happened for the Lions. So stick with me here. We're going to go through it top to bottom. Quick recap. Also want to mention Pistons did win this basketball game big time, 138-100 in Brooklyn. So the Pistons get a runaway victory. They really needed this after 4 losses in a row, after what happened in LCA against Brooklyn a week ago, to get this victory and get things kind of back rolling the right way. Now, yes, Brooklyn is a bad team. They were down a few players, but that's what a good team has to do, is take advantage of the bad teams, and they did that today. So Pistons get a road victory and snap the 4-game losing streak. So that's good to see. Let's get some things back here. There we go. Villain, I appreciate you. Again, guys, make sure to go check out 313 Villain Squad on YouTube and then Facebook when that's back up and running. Great community of people. Great Detroit sports talk. Good to get involved with. And if you haven't already, again, make sure to slap the like button. It's the best way to help us out. Johnny Gaz goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and we're covering a variety of Detroit sports topics. Obviously, today with the Lions news and all the free agency stuff going on, we were heavy focus on that today. We did have Pistons and Nets. We also had the Red Wings playing the Panthers. Unfortunately, they gave up a late 2 goals to lose that one to Florida. They lost 4-3 today. But Justin Falk very heavily involved in that one, and we will talk about that in future lives. Well, let's round things out for the Lions. They were active in free agency. I wouldn't say they made any sort of big splash move, and we hit on everything today with the Villain. I think the big move overall is the center, Cade Mays. For the Lions to go out and get the position of need across their offensive line, I think they were successful. They got the guy that was available to them at the right price point. We talked about Linderbaum being priced out of the market for the Lions and all the other available centers either re-signing or signing elsewhere. So for the Lions to go out and get Cade Mays, a younger center that they can build from, keeps Tate Ratledge in his position, allows you to do what you want with Penei Sewell, and then go to the draft and get that tackle for the future. So I really think it sets up your offensive line for success. Jared Goff has to be very happy. He now has a center I think he can trust a little bit more, especially in the pass pro game where he can step up, make the throws down the field, stay within the pocket. We know Jared Goff's game is heavily reliant on what's happened with the offensive line, and I think they're off to a good start here in free agency. They also added the depth pieces with offensive tackle Larry Borom. This was all after they had obtained Juice Scruggs as part of the David Montgomery trade, so they're starting to build depth, guys that have started in the league. So that is great when you're considering long-term success of your offensive line across an NFL season. Lions then go out and add running back Isaiah Pacheco. And although I was up and down with this, it seems like the more we talk about it, the more you look into it, is if he can remain healthy, he is a very good complementary back to Jahmyr Gibbs. He can be great for them in the goal line. He's great in pass pro. So when you need that or when you need to spell Jahmyr Gibbs, I think you're off to a good start with your RB1 and RB2. I think it was mentioned earlier, no longer do we have Sonic and Knuckles, but can we call them Sonic and Tails? So that's possible. We can make some fun out of that. And then late today, we find out the Lions are re-signing, bringing back Teddy Bridgewater to replace Kyle Allen, who left. And now Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, will now be the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions yet again, bringing that veteran experience. He knows the system. He knows the coaching staff. That familiarity should be good for the Lions offense and for Jared Goff. Lions did lose some key players today. We talked about Kyle Allen, Khalif Raymond, the defensive tackle Roy Lopez, which I think is a very big loss. He took a multi-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, the Lions feel like that was either too much money for them to spend on a defensive tackle depth piece, or they are very high faith into what Aleem McNeil will bring them in year 2 coming off of this recovery on the ACL. So that combined with Alex Anzalone, Amika Robertson, they all departed the Lions today and took deals elsewhere. Khalif Raymond actually going to the Chicago Bears and joining enemy territory. So that then creates some spots now for the Lions to continue to fill. I think they really still need to look at that offensive tackle position opposite Penei Sewell. I really think they need to look across their defensive line. The exit of Roy Lopez, we don't know what's going to happen with El-Kadin Muhammad. I think they need an edge opposite Hutch. Hate to say that yet again, but that's still there, that need. And then without Roy Lopez, they really need help on the interior. So there's a lot of holes there on the defensive line that need to be shored up. Losing Alex Anzalone, veteran, system guy, not easily replaceable. So I think you're going to have to look for another linebacker probably in the draft, more secondary help. You're re-signing Rock Ya-Sin, which was a great depth piece addition. Keeps that there, which is great. But I still think with Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, the injury history there, there's still a lot of work to be done, especially on the defensive side of the football. So we'll see what happens over the next couple days with the Lions. There's still some free agents out there to be had. We heard about the Maxx Crosby news. So let's go check on that real quick and see if anything else has come through. I don't see if there's been any major updates here since the story was posted on ESPN. I read you earlier what Ryan McFadden wrote on ESPN.com. Las Vegas announced Tuesday the Ravens had backed out of the deal, the agreement that sent all-pro defensive end Maxx Crosby to Baltimore in exchange for 2 first-round picks. So you wonder now how they work that out. Do they reform that deal, maybe pull back on the 2 first-round picks? Does he still end up a Raider, or does this whole thing get reset? Is Maxx Crosby now back on the market, and for what price? And I'm not saying any of this trying to tell you guys the Lions are in that market, because I don't think they are. They never were, and at those kind of prices, they just can't get there. Based on the current money they have available to them, and even with the restructures, I just don't think that's in the cards. So we'll keep our eyes on that, see if anything changes. But other than that, I think the Lions still have a ton of work to do, not only in free agency, but in the draft. Talked about, obviously, today with the villain, everything that's been done in free agency. We talked last week with Don't Know Grid as far as what they could do still in free agency, remaining pieces, and then what could potentially happen in the draft. So there's a lot ahead still. Thanks, Trim. Chat has been fantastic today. The turnout for the live is fantastic today. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the live. Again, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern at Johnny Gaz Sports on Facebook and YouTube. But I am across all of your social networks, and I post Detroit sports content every single day. So definitely come back and check me out. We had the Pistons in action today. We had the Red Wings in action today, and everything happening with the Lions. Of course, the Tigers gearing up for the regular season, spring training starting to wind down. They did make several cuts, which did not include Kevin McGonigal. And I did have some material planned for that, but maybe we'll save that for Thursday as things sort of round into shape for the Tigers. That's a big, big story, guys. There's some movement happening within the Tigers lineup that could shape what happens in late March and early April as this thing kicks off. I really think McGonigal is making the strongest case possible to be the opening day shortstop. Does that mean Javi Baez is your center fielder? There's some moving pieces there. What happens with Parker Meadows? A lot of stuff going on that we're going to get into. Marcus, I appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you being involved in the chat. Make sure to come back and see us on Thursday. Loving having you. Theo, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you, man. Don't know. I appreciate that. He says, I make sure I watch on every platform just so I can exponentially increase my happiness throughout the day. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Don't Know Grid also across all of those socials. Make sure to go check him out. That's where I get a lot of my straight up Lions source information. It's been great. It's been a good night. It's been a fun night. It's been a lot of news up and down for the Lions. You know, I'm going to put my grade on this. I don't know if I go an A- like the villain did, and there's nothing wrong with that grade. I didn't expect the Lions to make a splash move. We talked about this on so many episodes leading up into the free agency period. So I didn't think the Lions were in some sort of Linderbaum sweepstakes or the Maxx Crosby sweepstakes. None of that was a reality. I like the Cade Mays move. I think that was the best they could have done. But I think that time will tell whether or not he's the long-term solution. So I'm still questioning that. I think people can dismiss the PFF grades, but the truth is there is tape that proves he's not as good left to right as he is north to south. So I really think that in the Lions system where they are so run heavy, that it does make a difference that he may not be as good of a run blocker as a pass blocker. So let's see if the surrounding cast makes that efficiency better, increases his positivity in his run blocking. I think that remains to be seen. The other depth pieces are what they are. They're not difference makers. They're guys that are going to be there in a pinch if the starters get injured. Guys like Larry Borum, Juice Scruggs, those guys I don't think are brought in to be starters. And if they end up your starters, I think your offensive line is in a tough position. So again, that's where I go back to there's still a lot of moves to be made. The draft will tell us a lot. What happens with Penei Sewell will tell us a lot about what they plan to do in the draft. I was thrown back by the Isaiah Pacheco signing because I didn't expect it. The backup running back position, I thought they'd go to the draft, and they may still do that. But that's where I really thought the RB2 would come from. So to hear that they signed Isaiah Pacheco was a surprise to me. Now, I like the deal, a one-year deal, kind of a prove-it deal. He was a down 2025 year. And again, something that's going to be yet to be seen, but how does he play off of Jahmyr Gibbs? Do they complement each other as well as it seems to be on paper? And that's a big question. Are the Lions better today than they were 2 days ago? I don't know that to be true. I can't say that. I don't think that they are, to be honest with you. With the fact that players like Roy Lopez, Alex Anzalone, Amik Robertson, Khalif Raymond walking away. In return, I don't know that they got back a slate of guys that are leaps and bounds better than the ones that exited. Now, it's not a one-for-one exchange, but that's how I feel about it. So right now, I would say it's a B-. If I had to put a grade on the Lions' free agency so far in these first couple days, I would give them a B-. I like Cade Mays. I don't mind Isaiah Pacheco. I think it can have an upside if he can stay healthy. But a lot of this stuff relates together. The offensive line, the running backs, they're going to play off of each other. So let's see what we get. But that's where I'm at. I give them a B- so far. There's obviously some free agency to be had here, and we'll see what the Lions do over the next couple days. The new league year kicks off tomorrow. So hopefully we'll hear about some restructuring. That should be interesting. Who do they restructure? How much? And are there any other moves that the Lions are willing to make? So make sure to come back and check out Johnny Gaz Sports. I will post any updates on the channels. I'll have content coming out from this live over the next couple days and our conversation with the villain. I really appreciate you guys being involved in the chat. Don't Know Grit, Trim, Millicent, Sebastian, I see you. How you doing? Theo, Marcus. Appreciate all you guys. John Herman, Mark Durfield. Appreciate you guys. Everybody for getting involved. We had a huge turnout today in the live. And again, we'll be back Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll get into all the Detroit sports. We'll hit on any additional news and updates from the Lions, and we'll kind of reset as we gear up then towards the new league year and the NFL draft. Should be a lot of fun. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to slap the like button. It's the best way to help out the stream. Subscribe to all the channels. That's absolutely free. I do have memberships on Facebook and YouTube where I put out a ton of fun content for a very low price, but there's always free content available for you at Johnny Gaz Sports on any one of those social networks. More than anything else, take care of yourself and your mental health. That is more important than anything else. It all starts here. You can't take care of the ones around you if you don't take care of this. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. As always, go Lions.
Detroit!